Welcome back, guys. I missed you so much. So what we're going to do is we're going to read our second objective. I want you to read it in your head. Now, I'm going to say it, then you're going to say it. Scholars will be able to add concluding statements. That's kind of a tricky one. Concluding statements to make arguments stronger. Okay, now I'm just going to say it this time. Scholars will be able to add concluding statements to make our arguments stronger. So you might be thinking, Ms. Poloncarz, what is a concluding statement? So I have our criteria for success right here. Our criteria for success is another name for the steps that we need to take. So we're going to follow these steps to come up with our concluding statement. Our first step is that we're going to reread our paragraphs. Then we're going to identify the main points. That means we're going to find the main points, the most important things in our paragraphs. And then we're going to use a transition word and write a summary of the main points. I want you to reread our criteria for success in your head. So we're going to go through these steps together with my response. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to reread my paragraphs. Let's do that now. So my question was, how would you describe the relationship between Carlene and Kate? Why is the color in purple important to that relationship? Use details to support your response. So this is my first step. I'm rereading my paragraph. And I'm thinking about my main points as I'm reading. Carlene and Kate are best friends who want to do everything together. The girls created the club called the Kate and Carlene Club. In paragraph 1, it says they paint noodle necklaces and make peanut butter sandwiches with lots of grape jelly. They enjoy spending time together and like the same things, especially the color purple. They were such great friends that the first rule of their club is that we always stick together. This shows that they support one another no matter what. It is clear that Kate and Carlene are best friends in the story. The color purple is important to their relationship because it represents their friendship. In paragraph 2, it says purple makes us ready for anything. Purple makes them feel like they can do anything they set their mind to. When Carlene sees that they are both wearing purple, she feels like she can try skating again. The color purple represents their bond. That was my first step, rereading. So if I were to have my little CFS, I could cross this out. I already reread them. So my next step is to identify the main points. So I'm thinking about, what is this all about? What am I talking about in my paragraphs? And I put this in red so you could really see it. The main part of paragraph 1 is that they support each other no matter what, and that they're best friends. And then I also want to talk about how they always like the same things. They like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They like the color purple. They like grape jelly. So I want to talk about their support for one another and how they're best friends. And then I'm thinking about the second paragraph, and I'm trying to figure out what is the main point here. And I want to talk about how the color purple represents their strong bond. So a lot of my main points are all about their friendship. So when I'm thinking about writing my summary, I want to talk about how they have a really strong friendship and how they like the same things. So I am going to start off with the transition word. The transition word that I'm going to pick is in conclusion. So that's my transition word right here. In conclusion, comma. After you do a transition word, you always want to do that comma. So in conclusion, comma, Carlene and Kate's friendship is so strong because of their similar interests. Similar interests means that they like the same thing. And support for each other. So I'm going to reread it. In conclusion, Carlene and Kate's friendship is so strong because of their similar interests and their support for each other. So that's my concluding statement. Now, the reason that having this concluding statement is so important is because it wraps up what you're trying to say. These two paragraphs are wonderful, but we want to make it even stronger, and we really want to persuade the reader that we know what we're talking about and we are giving them strong information. So the concluding statement just wraps it up and tells the reader what you wrote all about. So once again, my conclusion statement talks about how they have the same interests and how they're best friends. So I use the word in conclusion for my transition word. You can also use these as well to sum it all up, comma, finally, comma, or in the end, comma. Any of those would work on the slide here. So I could have said, in the end, Carlene and Kate's friendship is so strong because of their interest and support for each other. I could have also said, finally, Carlene and Kate's friendship is so strong because of their similar interests and support for each other. Any of those transition words would work as well. So when you're writing your own conclusion statement, make sure that you're using in conclusion to sum it all up, finally, or in the end. Okay, here's where it gets really fun. So your job right now is to come up with your own concluding statement. So if you have your paper, your writing that you did over the past couple of weeks, after the past 2 weeks, I want you to grab that. You should have submitted your paragraphs yesterday, so you should already have your paragraphs written. You're going to add a concluding statement onto the bottom of your 2 paragraphs. Now, if you're thinking, Ms. Polenkars, oh no, I threw it out in the recycling yesterday and I don't know where it is, I misplaced it. That's okay. As long as you submitted it and we have a record of it, no big deal. Your teachers did need it yesterday. But if you already submitted it and then you threw it out, that's okay. Mistakes happen. Sometimes we don't know we need to keep our papers. So you're going to use this one that I have provided. Now, if you have yours still, I want you to come up with your conclusion statement using yours. But if you don't, I want you to use these 2 paragraphs and then you're going to come up with a concluding statement. Okay, remember, the first step to the concluding statement is to do what? Everybody should say reread their paragraphs. So right now, I want you to take the time. I'm going to give you about 3 minutes. I want you to take the time to reread your paragraphs. Go. If it helps you to read aloud, you can read it aloud. You have 1 minute left to read your response. Now, I'm going to move on. If you need more time to reread your response, you can pause the video in the corner and you can take as much time as you need to reread and start the video when you're ready. Your next step of the CFS is to identify your main points. So I'm going to give you about 1 minute. I want you to underline with your pencil your main points. Go. You have 20 seconds left to find your main points. If you need more time, no big deal. Pause the video and come back when you have your main points. Awesome. So after you reread, you find the main points. Next step, you're going to write a transition word. Make sure you're picking a transition word from here. So I want you guys to pick a transition word. Remember to always indent as well. So you're going to indent, write your transition word. You can pick in conclusion, comma, to sum it all up, comma, finally, comma, or in the end, comma. Now that you're done with that, you're going to take some time to write the summary of your main points. When you're done writing your summary, you're going to go to the Google form and you're going to submit your conclusion statement here. There's a choice here, which is really exciting. You can submit a video of you reading your writing with your conclusion response, or you can send a picture. So you get a choice, video or picture. If you have any trouble submitting, you can text both your classroom teachers. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Have fun writing your conclusion statements. I can't wait to see them.